Welcome to the Explainer. So, you want to learn Mandarin, but it just feels huge, right? Almost impossible, especially when you're trying to fit it in around work, school, and just life. Well, today, we're going to change that. We're going to break down this massive goal into a clear, actionable plan that actually fits into your life.
Okay, let's just get this out on the table right away. For a native English speaker, Mandarin is officially one of the hardest languages to learn. It's absolutely a marathon, not a sprint. And that's especially true when you're trying to balance it with, everything else you've got going on. So the big question is, how do you actually move forward? How can you make real, tangible progress when you're studying part-time and probably on a budget? Well, in this explainer, we're going to lay out a proven, structured plan that turns that daunting goal into a manageable and, dare I say, even enjoyable journey.
All right, let's dive in. Step 1 is all about setting your learning compass. See, the first and most crucial step isn't about memorizing words or grammar rules. Nope, it's all about strategy and planning. This is where you set the direction for your entire journey.
Before you even think about learning a single character, you've got to define your why. What's your real, personal motivation? Is it for travel, for your career, to connect with family, or just because you love the culture? Whatever it is, write it down. This becomes your anchor. Because trust me, your motivation will fade sometimes, and when it does, this why is what will keep you going.
Now this is a total game changer. If your goal is modern communication, texting, emailing, and actually talking to people, you can dramatically speed up your progress by prioritizing speaking and typing over handwriting. Learning to handwrite every single character is a beautiful skill for sure, but it is incredibly time-consuming. For part-time learners, focusing on just recognizing characters so you can type them with a pinyin keyboard, well, that is a much more efficient path to actually communicating.
Okay, on to step 2. Build your core knowledge. Now that you've set your priorities, it's time to build the actual curriculum for your study plan. Let's look at the tools you're going to need to build a really strong foundation.
This whole learning plan is built around something called the HSK. It's the official Chinese level exam. Now, you don't actually have to take the test, but the curriculum gives you this fantastic, clearly defined roadmap for what vocabulary and grammar to learn, taking you step by step from an absolute beginner all the way up to advanced. And here are the tools of the trade. And the best part is, they're all super budget-friendly. You've got the HSK textbooks and workbooks for structure. Then you have Anki, which is this incredibly powerful flashcard app that uses something called spaced repetition. It's a scientifically proven way to burn vocabulary into your long-term memory. And finally, some reliable dictionaries like MDBG and Pleco, plus a great Anki deck for learning full sentences. That's pretty much all you need.
Now, to put the scale of this journey into perspective, just look at this number, 1,300. That's how many new words you need to learn just to get from an intermediate level to an upper intermediate level. Yeah, that can feel a little overwhelming. But here's the secret. Here's how you tackle that mountain. You break it down. Your goal isn't to learn 1,300 words in a month. It's to learn just 10 new characters and 10 new sentences a day using your Anki flashcards. This small, consistent daily goal is what makes the impossible totally possible. Okay, so you're building up all this knowledge, but knowledge that's just locked in your head isn't really communication, is it? So now we're moving on to step 3, where we cover how you actually put it all into practice and, start talking. To really learn a language, you just have to use it. There's no way around it. Try to carve out about 1 hour each week to just chat with a native speaker. You can find language partners on sites like Italki. And please, don't worry about being perfect. The goal is connection, not perfection. A great little tip is to talk about the topics from your weekly HSK chapter. It's a perfect way to reinforce what you just learned. The second part of activating your skills is all about a powerful idea called Comprehensible Input. It sounds fancy, but it's super simple. It just means our brains learn language best when we're listening to stuff that we mostly understand, but that has a few new words or grammar points. Your brain is amazing at naturally absorbing that new info from the context around it. It feels almost effortless.
And this is how you weave that idea into your daily life. Find a podcast you like and habit stack it. Listen while you're on your commute or making coffee so you have no excuse to skip it. For TV shows, you can use a tool like the Language Reactor extension on Netflix to get dual language subtitles. This turns your downtime into what I like to call productive procrastination. You're relaxing and learning at the same time.
So you've got your core study, your speaking practice, your listening, but how do you tie it all together and actually stay motivated for the long haul? Well, that brings us to step 4, the master tracking system.
The answer is a simple but really powerful spreadsheet.
This master plan becomes the central nervous system of your whole learning journey. It's where you plan out your sessions and track every single bit of your progress.
This dashboard lets you see your measurable progress every single day. You track your new Anki cards, your textbook progress, your listening time, your speaking sessions. There's even a little journal section to note how you felt. Seeing this grid fill up is so motivating. It reminds you how far you've come, and it proves that even on the tough days when you feel like you're not getting anywhere, you are still moving forward.
And really, the entire philosophy behind this whole plan just boils down to one simple, powerful idea. The goal isn't about speed, it's about consistency.
The key takeaway here is that slow, steady, consistent progress will always win in the end. As Confucius famously said, it does not matter how slowly you go so long as you do not stop. And that leaves us with a final thought. What marathon will you start running today?